Marriage going out of style with millennials. A new study finds that fewer younger Americans are tying the knot. The host of the Intelligence Report, Trish Regan, is on the story. She joins us now. Sandra Smith, Gary Kaminsky, Joe Ling Kent also talking about this. What a story.
Yeah, it's a column that I wrote about why it is that marriage seems to be going out of style. I mean, you look at the numbers today, Maria, and basically 50% of Americans are getting married. You compare and contrast that with 1960 when 72% of Americans were getting married. And what you start to see is that a lot of this is because young people now just aren't getting hitched, which has an economic consequence. I mean, you think about rebuilding this economy right now. You need household formation. If you are getting married, you get married, you buy a house, you have a kid, you buy the crib, you buy the babysit, all the things that go with that. And that actually translates into a ripple effect for the economy. It's estimated that it's $145,000 that one household formation can contribute in ripple effect to the economy.
That's interesting stats. You are a millennial, Joe.
I'm your
and you're getting married.
I am getting married this summer, so maybe I will contribute more to the economy.
Tell all the guys off the market soon, Joe Ling Kent. You are off the market.
But yeah, that's the thing, is you see millennials spending in a different way, right? Because in addition to maybe not getting married as much, we also expect an on-demand type of economy. The way we spend our money, we're more likely to rent longer than to buy a house because an increased amount of urbanization as well. More millennials want to live in urban centers. The prices of those apartments and homes are also more expensive.
Well, actually, a lot of millennials are still living at home. I mean, this is part of the struggle as well. I mean, you've got a very high percentage, the highest percentage ever of young people, that 18 to 34-year-old demographic, now living at home.
So I fall on the tail end of the millennial spectrum, and I've been married for 5 years, but as I understand it, a lot more of the millennial generation isn't marrying because of the economy. You're saying there's economic consequences to not marrying, but because of the economy, you know, women are making more money, and in many places are making more than men now. Women are more independent. They're taking longer to even go out and date and find the man to marry, and they're not seeing the economic benefit of getting hitched.
Well, that's a great point. By the way,
yeah.
For men, there is an economic benefit. For men, they're actually making as much as $19,000 more than their single counterparts, according to one new study by the AEI. So they're saying that married men are way more productive than their single counterparts. I wonder what you think of that.
We chatted about that.
Right here.
Yeah, we chatted. Are they making more? In other words, their top line is higher by $19,000 if they're married?
$15,900 in the 28 to 30-year-old category. And in the 32 to, I think it's 44-year-old category, they're making $19,000.
And do we know
more.
why? Do we know what this is a result of?
It seems to be because these are guys who are more focused. They know they got to provide for their family. They're more into their career as opposed to, say, the single guy who doesn't have as much pressure.
So a little more stability, a little bit more stability with the marriage, and therefore a little bit maybe more job stability.
You know, but one of the issues, and I get at this in the column, is it's crazy because you look at our government right now and we are not doing anything to encourage marriage. Tax policy.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of individuals would be better off living together as individuals from a tax policy perspective than they would be getting married. And that's crazy.
It's all about money. Right?
Yeah, it's all about money.
All about the money.
And plus, there's the religious aspect of this, too, by the way. The millennial generation is showing to be way less religious than any previous generation. They're not going to church. They're not raising their kids going to church. So, I mean, why would they marry?
There's an elephant in the room. There's a ton of student debt out there. This is one of the most educated, most diverse groups of people ever, right? The biggest, most diverse generation. And yet you have individuals who are sitting with $200,000 or maybe even more in undergraduate debt. Then you talk about graduate school. That really hurts. If you're making a $3,000 to $6,000 to $1,000 payment a month, that's rent in some
probably a big part of it.
Yeah. And just on the student debt thing, one thing that very rarely gets discussed is that this millennial generation who has debt, they've never seen interest rates go up. They've never seen, I'm sorry, you millennials, you've never lived in a world.
Oh, here we go, bring it on.
You've never lived in a world where interest rates actually go up. So you're used to taking out debt whether it be on a credit card or a student
And
loan.
we're also used
and
to-
see the cost of that debt always either going down or staying the same.
And we're also used to coming into an economy that had, in 2008, remember the economic crisis, on the recession afterward, it's been very hard to get a good quality job despite a good education.
But Maria,
as
isn't
well,
that a crazy point that Gary's making? That the millennial generation that's sitting on trade desks right now across the globe
Have never
in
seen
this country
high interest
have
rates.
never been around for an interest rate hike.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
Let alone a high interest rate environment.
I guess I'm too old because I can remember sitting in front of a Quotron, a Quotron.
I remember Quotrons.
Yes, right? Quotron. Seeing rates were going up.
No idea.
I'll show you a Quotron later today.
Oh, Joe, come on. I'm going to show
Bring
you
me the
that.
link. I need a picture.
I'll explain it. Joe, Trish, thank you so much.
bet.
Great story.